Year in, year out, school by school, student by student, class by class, together, charter schools have been reinventing public education for 20 years.
Frankly, we thought, oh, this is a great idea. It'll never pass. And it did.
It was the California Charter Schools Act, authored by Senator Gary K. Hart and signed by Governor Pete Wilson in 1992. In the 2 decades since, charters have grown in number of schools and students served, and in the quality and diversity of the movement. Early leaders banded together to help the fledgling schools flourish. The California Network of Educational Charters was established in 1993 under the leadership of Susan Steelman Brigado. And in August 1994, California's first charter school opened in San Mateo County. The San Carlos Charter Learning Center focused on multi-age communities and project-based learning.
The belief of the community was that innovation was important and that schooling ought to be a place where kids have fun.
San Carlos' success didn't go unnoticed. In February 1997, President Bill Clinton called for the expansion of charter schools in his State of the Union address.
Our plan will help America to create 3,000 of these charter schools by the next century, nearly 7 times as there are in the country today.
He visited the school a few months later to promote the educational progress made by charter schools. Meanwhile, charter schools were spreading across the state. Aspire Public Schools, a charter management organization, was founded in 1998 to provide a college for certain education to underserved California students. And in Los Angeles, a group of pioneers transformed Vaughn Elementary School into the nation's first independent conversion charter.
It is the teachers who trigger the conversion.
The movement's expansion continued to pick up speed with the creation of the Federal Public Charter Schools Grant Program, providing funding for organizations starting charter schools.
15 years ago, there were a few charters in. It was very new. I think on one hand, we didn't get as much pushback from the establishment and the traditional schools and the unions because we seemed so small. I think there was this mentality in California that, it's just another fad and it would fade and it would go away.
As charters grew during the first decade, they also faced more challenges.
If the states don't lift their caps and make it so difficult to open a new charter school, the movement's going to die right where it is. And there are a lot of people out there that would like to see it dead.
In 1998, Assemblyman Ted Lempert authored AB 544, which essentially lifted the cap on charters in the state. California's charters moved full speed ahead.
We have to make sure that every single child going to school reaches their full potential and really is able to compete in today's economy.
A watershed moment came in 1999 when the California Appellate Court upheld the constitutionality of the California Charter Schools Act in Wilson versus the State Board of Education. Before long, California voters got involved in the fight for charter schools. In November 2000, voters overwhelmingly passed Proposition 39.
The whole idea behind Proposition 39 is that public school students from charter schools would enjoy the same facilities that public school students would have.
Charters received another boost on the facility front when Senator Jack O'Connell authored SB 740, a program that today continues to provide much-needed funding for charter school facilities. In 2003, the California Charter Schools Association was created to advance the quality of charter schools while holding state and local authorities to their legal mandates. Just 1 year later, California was home to nearly 180,000 charter students studying in more than 500 charter schools, and that number quickly rose.
Every child in California, including those in our rural and inner cities schools, deserves a world-class education.
Another key milestone for charters came in 2005 when then Assemblyman Bob Huff introduced AB 740. 740 revised the charter school block grant to gain greater funding equity between charters and traditional schools. The bill was sponsored by CCSA. Charters also directed their innovation toward new ways of serving special education students. In July 2007, the State Board of Education approved a 3-year pilot for the El Dorado County Charter Special Education Local Plan Area, or SELPA.
I have never been in an environment where special ed teachers have been this intellectual and this dedicated to the work of special ed.
During this same period, public schools were hit by state budget cuts and deferrals, though no schools felt it more than charters. In Los Angeles, concerned parents united and supported their schools, sparking a statewide organization. Families That Can was founded when the legislature threatened to cut more than $18 million from charter schools. 700 families came together to rally for the funding, and they won.
And we want change now.
Despite funding challenges, the charter school movement continued to grow rapidly, both number of schools and students served. In 2009, the State Board of Education lifted the pilot status of SELPA programs and saw the creation of the first charter SELPA.
Charter schools have become a part of a key delivery system for public education in the state of California and nationally that is rivaling traditional public schools. And so where perhaps we should be seeing collaboration and idea sharing, we see conflict.
Nowhere has that conflict been more apparent than in the fight for facilities. The charter school movement has seen a number of court challenges and victories in the years since Prop 39's passage.
Those of us that were in at the beginning started being called originals and visionaries.
The visionaries who founded the California charter school movement and the leaders who have since joined it have made significant strides in improving education for children. In 2011, the Portrait of the Movement report was introduced, an annual report showcasing a framework that provided a more detailed analysis of charter school performance on a variety of academic indicators. The findings showed that charter schools are contributing significantly to closing the performance gap between low-income and affluent communities. Other CCSA research shows California's charter schools have also made significant strides in closing the achievement gap between African American students and their white and Asian counterparts.
Educators and parents should collaborate to create a better place for kids than either one can do by themselves.
20 years later, parents are still playing a key role in supporting and advocating for charter schools. More than 5,000 parents and supporters turned out for the February 2012 Schools We Can Believe In rally, the largest parent rally in Los Angeles history.
We are here today to demand great schools for all children. Schools that we can believe in.
Another example, the Parent Summit at the annual California Charter Schools Conference, which is also celebrating its 20th anniversary. Indeed, parents' power has never been greater. California is the first state in history to pass a parent trigger law, giving parents real power to transform their children's failing schools through community organizing.
This experience has been really wonderful. It changed me in many ways, and I think it changes other students, just to show them that we're all here for you. And not only is it you're getting love from people and everything, but you're also learning a lot, and just you can be somebody.
Now, we celebrate 20 years, and the movement keeps growing. In September 2012, 2 decades since the movement began, national charter school enrollment stood at more than 2 million students. In California, nearly 500,000 students are enrolled in more than 1,000 charter schools. But even more significantly, students are achieving. They are learning like never before. California Charter Schools, 20 years of reinventing public education.